Okay, so today we're going to be talking about this book. It's Good to Great. It's by Jim Collins, and it's a bestseller with more than 3 million copies sold. So what it says is why some companies make the leaps, other don't. Why some succeed, why some don't, and how can you build an organization which is built to last, right? So let's dive deeper into it and a bit about the author here. Jim Collins, he's a student and he's also a teacher of what makes great companies tick, and a Socratic advisor to leaders in the business as well as the social sectors. Having invested more than a quarter century in rigorous research, he has authored or co authored a series of books that have sold more than 10 million copies worldwide. So, what happens is when we study books, people have literally put years and years of research into a particular book, into 200-300 pages. And once we continue to consume these books on a regular basis, what happens is our learning about certain topics greatly increases, because they have put massive amount of years, decades of research when they write a book. So when you take a right book, it can greatly benefit you. Now, what are the topics which we will cover today? What are good and great companies? What is Mr. Collins' framework? The three main components of his framework: level 5 leadership, confront the brutal facts, hedgehog concept, a culture of discipline, technology accelerators, and then we will conclude. So we'll briefly go through this entire book, and it's definitely a must read for anyone who wants to build a good, lasting company. So what are good companies? A good company has job stability. They provide good working environment, and they provide good learning opportunities. But what are great companies? A great company would be a place where you get the opportunity to grow, to lead, and to make a difference. So people actually, when they come, instead of just learning, they are getting the opportunities to implement. They are getting the opportunities to grow and come up with new ideas where they get that opportunity to implement them. And then once they become good, they also get the opportunity to lead other people and to actually make a difference in the life of customers, clients, as well as the companies. So this is the kind of atmosphere which you should also be creating in your company, where you're allowing people who have the right aptitude to actually accelerate and be able to understand their true potential as well. Now, what did these companies do that made them good to great? ऐसा इन companies ने क्या करा? So what is Mr. Collins framework? So at the top, it is disciplined people, level 5 leadership, first who, then what. We will be covering all of this in detail as well. Then comes disciplined thought, confront the brutal fact, hedgehog concept, and then comes disciplined action, disciplined culture, and technology accelerators. So this is Mr. Collins' framework, and let's go dive deep into it now. What are the three main components of the framework? First is the flywheel, right? So you build up, and then there is a breakthrough. So you have to constantly deliver the results. Disciplined people with level 5 leadership, first who, then what, then confront the brutal facts, hedgehog concept, culture of discipline, accelerators. So you build up and then you break through, and this is the flywheel. Now, what is the process of this now? From setting up yourselves towards greatness, also known as the build up, to achieve an inflection point that takes you to greatness, as in the breakthrough. So you have to first build up, and then you have to reach a point where you will break through, right? So this is what you have to do in order to actually become from good to great. You have to lay all the foundations now so that you can do that breakthrough. So what are the phases which come here? There are three different phases in the good to great journey. First is disciplined people, involves getting the right leader and the right team. Next come the disciplined thought, involves understanding of brutal facts and creating a set of core values. Now come disciplined action, creating a robust culture where the right people will work within the defined core values with the appropriate freedom. So, you also, again, it's also important for us as leaders when we are building that team, for you to be able to provide that freedom to your team members, where they actually have opportunities to come up with their own ideas, and then see that you have given them the freedom, the responsibility, and the accountability to actually see that idea through. Right. So it starts with disciplined people, then the disciplined thought, and then with action. Everything boils down to actions. Now, what is the flywheel? A quiet and deliberate process of figuring out what needs to be done for the best future results, and taking those steps one by one, pushing the flywheel in a consistent direction until it achieves a breakthrough point. Right. So aapko constantly, you have to continuously move forward. So life is like a bicycle. To maintain the balance, you have to continue moving forward. It does not matter कि आपके जो everyday successes हैं, if they are huge successes, small successes, but if you are constantly moving forward, you will be in a better position 1 month down the line. The only thing is dress up, show up, and never give up. Now, so what does level 5 leadership look like? Right. So level 5 पे आते हैं executive, उनके नीचे आते हैं effective leaders, then comes managers. Right. Then comes contributing team members. Then comes the highly capable individual. Right. So what does the highly capable individual? They are the executives. They are like, when we start working, I was in the corporate. So we start here. Right. So then, after some time, you become a manager, right? A team manager, team leader. Then you become a manager, you become an effective leader, and then you become the level 5 executive. So this is usually the hierarchy of leadership, the level 5 leadership, right? So now, following are the traits of a level 5 leader, right? They first and foremost think about the success of their organization and then personal riches. Level 5 leaders always appropriated the credit of success to others, and if there were no one to credit, they credited towards luck. Right. In times of failures, they took the responsibility. This was exactly the opposite in case of leaders of good or failed organization. So it's very, very important. In order for you to be a level 5 leader, you have to always take accountability. You have to understand that you are in that position where you can actually make massive amounts of differences. So you go there and you start making those changes. You think about the success of the organization and then your personal riches. Also understanding that if your organization is succeeding, so will you succeed as well. Now, so then comes the concept: first who, then what. Right. So what does this principle say? This aspect is needed for the company to break through from good to great is having the right people in the right location. Right. So अगर कोई tail ender है, हम उससे opening नहीं कराएंगे, opening batsman से हम tail end position में नहीं bat कराएंगे, and vice versa. It is very important for you to have the right people in the right location in your organization with ample amount of freedom for them to experiment and grow. So now Collin stated that what is important to begin with is the who instead of the what. The problem of motivation and management goes away when you have the right people on the bus. Jo aapke, obviously, if you make that culture where you hire the right people, then you don't really have to motivate or spend so much time in management, because they are self-motivated. They are here. They want to learn. They want to implement. They want to be better. So aapka bhi, a lot of your energies are saved, because now you don't have to repeat the same thing again and again. You don't have to chase them कि यार आपने ये काम करा, ये काम नहीं करा. The right people knows what needs to be done, and then they are doing it themselves. And these are the kind of people who actually grow as well. So it's very important for you to have a collection of these people in your team. So now great vision without great people is irrelevant, because how will you actually implement it? Action kaun dega? Again, we are here, we not here so that, a lot of us come from corporate backgrounds. We don't want to build a business just to become an employee in our own business, right? So yes, maybe at certain times in the beginning you might be doing the hustling yourself. You might be getting like you might not want to get an employee if you don't have that budget, but then you might want to get an intern who can work for you. And now what you need to do is, it has to happen, it starts from there. You start somewhere, you start building up that team, understanding that the work has to be done. And now you slow and steadily you grow your business. You have a great vision, and then you get great people in it, so actually you can see that vision through. Now confront the brutal fact. Brutal fact kya hai yahan pe? The good to great companies would lead with questions, not answers, right? They would engage in dialogue and debate, not coercion, right? The climate of truth prospers when you analyze the debacles without blaming anyone for it. बहुत सारे टाइम क्या होता है, हम ब्लेम गेम खेलते हैं, यार आपने ये कर दिया, उसने वो कर दिया, एंड यू नो व्हाट, उसमें क्या होता है, जो प्रॉब्लम थी, just by blaming it on anyone else, you do not solve the problem. So it's very, very important for us to have that culture of truth, and then we have to be solution oriented. Problems, challenges, struggles, it will happen, it will always be there. If you are even in a job sector, if you are in any business, there will always be challenges. If it was so simple, everyone would be doing it, right? So you need the right guidance. And then again, you do not want to blame anyone for it. The right leader does not blame anyone. They say that how can we be better on a day-to-day basis so that the results continue to increase and be better. So that is what we want to do as well. We don't want to play the blame game. We want to ensure that we are solution oriented. We face the facts in order to get solutions and be better for ourselves as well as for our own company. So now, what is the hedgehog concept? So let's look at this diagram over here. What you are deeply passionate about, right? This is this circle here. What you can be the best in the world at. This is the other circle here. Right now, what drives your economic engine? Where are you getting the money from? So now, once you have these three circles in place, this becomes the key spot, right? So this aspect for a company is to understand what you can be the best at. The good to great companies transition because they took a great simple idea and consistently use that idea for all of their decision making. So this is the point where you have to reach. Once you can reach this point on an effective manner, you understand what this point is, everything automatically comes into focus. You start understanding what is happening, you concentrate on what is working, and this is what the great companies do. They don't want to concentrate on everything, but they want to concentrate on this sweet spot right here, which lies between all these circles. So this is the hedgehog concept. So now, what is the culture of discipline? Good to great companies build a culture around the idea of freedom as well as responsibility within a framework. Fill the culture with self-discipline and people who are willing to go to extreme lengths to fulfill their responsibilities, right? So understand, you don't want to be or build a team to become babysitters. You want to understand that, the people who are joining in, they are on their own journey as well. So they have to understand, realize their own journey, trust their own journey, and they have to be self-disciplined as well. And these are the kind of people you want to attract, right? So now they will now do anything. They will go to extreme lengths to fulfill their responsibilities, which will help the organization, and it will help them as well to be and create that culture for themselves, that they are better than who they were yesterday. Now, what are the technology accelerators? This aspect for a company should use only those technologies that apply to the company's hedgehog concept. Without a clear understanding of how new technologies fits into a company's hedgehog concept, technology becomes only a means of accelerating that company's own self-demise, right? After everything is in place, the only thing is to wait while fanatically applying the great simple ideas from the hedgehog concept. So यही सिंपल सी चीज है, Hedgehog concept identify करो, and then जो भी आपकी energies हैं, you use it in that particular sweet spot area, and that is how you can greatly accelerate your own company as well. So coming to the conclusion for this, great companies did not emerge due to a dramatic or a revolutionary event, but rather through years or decades of upholding their core principles, building up along the way, gaining momentum gradually as the flywheel turned, and eventually reaching an inflection point of breakthrough. Right. So this is again something which I tell everyone as well. I don't want you to give, you all want that side income, you want that extra hustle, you want extra money. And I don't want you to maybe give 5-6 hours in a day if you are working on another thing, which you are doing full time. And, maybe just because of motivation, you're giving 4-5 hours on a daily basis. But after 2 weeks, aapki motivation thodi, subside ho jati hai. You're unable to maintain that 4-5 hours. So the better thing is to gain momentum. Give yourself half an hour or 1 hour, but be very disciplined. Be very, very disciplined about that time, that irrespective of whatever happens, you will give that 1 hour to develop your side income, that passive income, or the new business. Research says it takes 1 hour 57 minutes on a daily basis for you to work on a side income for it to actually be substantial, right? So again, if you can give that amount of time, it is absolutely brilliant. But what you also have to understand the importance of consistency as well as commitment. You have to remain consistent to the process, irrespective of how much time it takes. You have to continue to do that consistently to gain the momentum, and then slowly and steadily you will see that the flywheel is turning. All right. So guys, thank you. We are coming to the end of the first section here. I hope you like this book. Good to great. It was a short summary. These short summaries, again, बहुत सारे जो books है, they have abundance of knowledge hidden inside them. All we have to do is be a constant learner. We have to have that hunger for knowledge. We continuously want to learn more and more on a day-by-day basis, so that we can gain more and more knowledge. The more you learn, the more you earn, because everything now starts becoming clear. So अगर कोई expert है जो अपने 1 decade की knowledge एक book में डाल पा रहे हैं, so why would we not want to read that particular book? So if the book's name is Good to Great, it is highly recommended for everyone. If you've not picked a book till now, if you're not reading a book till now, I suggest you begin reading any of the books which we have covered. Start with any book. All you have to do is read 1 page a day and be consistent about reading that 1 page. ये नहीं कि you are not a reader, suddenly आपने 20-30-40 पेज पढ़ लिए, फिर पूरा हफ्ता नहीं पढ़ा. Better is that you read 1 page on a daily basis, and if you can develop that habit of constantly learning, reading 1 page of a book on a consistent basis, you associate yourself as being a reader, you will soon be a leader as well.